This video is about cleaning the aerators on your bathroom faucets. This is something I do once a year. I find that when I do it once a year, I actually don't get that much calcium buildup. That's the reason you do this, is because the little metal aerators have a screen in them, and if you don't have soft water, if you have regular water pouring through there, it develops calcium on the little screen and gets clogged up, and then your water stream isn't as good. So first of all, things that you need: your tools. You're gonna need a pair of pliers, and you may need some kind of a soft cloth. And the purpose for this is when you clamp these around the metal, you don't want to scratch the metal. And if you haven't done this before, it might be tightened on there. And so I just put a piece of cloth around like this to keep from scratching the metal. Then you're going to need, I use CLR to be able to soak off the calcium, and some kind of a little container. So here we go. I don't put these on very tight myself, and so I should be able to get it off pretty easily without squeezing too hard and scratching this. Actually, I can probably even do it with my fingers. So Lucy is normally counterclockwise, but we're upside down, so we're going clockwise, spinning this. Make sure you don't lose any of those little parts. There's a little filter in there, and then your screen. This is what we're cleaning, is the metal here. It's got all this calcium on it, and the little screen that's in there. So just gonna drop that in the bowl. And we'll let that soak. You can see there the calcium is getting cleaned off. You can see all the bubbles from it. All right, so it's been about an hour. I suppose if you just let it sit in there all day, it would soak all the calcium off completely by itself, but I'm a little impatient. So one little thing that I do is I'll take a knife and kind of really, this stuff is really softened. And so you're not really scraping very hard. You're definitely not going to damage the knife. I just kind of scrape some of this stuff off so that it dissolves faster. Then I'll put it back in there. This one I actually scraped this from another faucet. This one I scraped like a half an hour ago, so most of it's already gone. Mostly what you're trying to get off is in the screen here, and that stuff's already gone, but might as well clean up this metal while we're at it. So put that back in for a little bit longer. One other thing I forgot to mention is when you take the screens out, you probably want to cover the faucet with something and tell your family and not to turn these on, because without this screen in there, it doesn't spray straight. And so if you really turn this on, it'll spray everywhere. So while I've got the screens off, I just mark it with that so that my family knows not to turn them on. So it's been soaking now for another half an hour past when I scraped it. Looks pretty clean. All that calcium's off from around the outside. Like I said, the screen's the most important thing, and the screen is clean. So I'm gonna turn this on very carefully so that I don't spray it everywhere, just to rinse off the chemical stuff. And then I'm going to screw it back in. So normally screw stuff on clockwise. It's upside down on here, so it's going to appear to be counterclockwise. And I didn't get it in there right because the string is not right. You have to dry it off a little bit and finish it with a cloth or something just to make sure you get it all the way screwed in. But like I said, hand tighten. And there we go. I also like to clean my shower heads at the same time, just unscrew it. A lot of times I'll even use the same CLR that I just used to clean the aerators, just so I don't waste it. But I actually forgot, so I'm gonna start with some new CLR. Put a little bit of water in there just to make sure that it fills it up far enough to get it up around the head. It's got to be a little bit more. So make sure the whole head is covered and let it soak in there for a couple hours, and it'll get all that calcium out that plugs those holes and makes it spray crazy.